Good evening, everyone. Brothers and sisters, how are you doing today? I'm hoping that you're doing fine. Um, the question I have for you, and I want your opinion on this. And this is the question for the chapter. What would you do in this situation? You're guarding prisoners, but then you're told a massive army is heading towards where you just came from. Do you stay with the prisoners, lead them away, continue your journey? Or do you end the lives of the prisoners so you can help your friends out that's facing this massive army? Now, this is a scenario that is very real today in the Book of Mormon. There's more to it, and we will see exactly how the person in charge decided. So, welcome to my channel, brothers and sisters. My name is Kevin, and I am an elder in Israel. And I actually had a really great question on one of my shorts. Would the characters from Dragon Ball, as everyone could tell, it's my favorite anime, would they be considered a false god? The answer is quite simple. If you put them above your worship of God, that you spend more time with the anime than with God, yes, they are a false god. But I don't. I love my anime characters. They're a good distraction. And but overall, that's what they are. It's just a small distraction to help relieve stress, give me something to enjoy. While I do love studying the scriptures, anime, it helps me, but it is not my God. I do not worship him. I don't have tons of Dragon Ball stuff. I know people like that. I know a guy, he's younger, he has a great career, and he showed me pictures of his Dragon Ball stuff. And I mean, he has rooms, not singular, plural, rooms full of Dragon Ball stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. So Dragon Ball Z is not my God. My God can be found in the scriptures, can be found as the creator of all that I have, all that we have. So I do appreciate the question, and I felt it important enough to respond to it. So, all right. If you remember from yesterday, Helaman had talked about his stripling warriors and their first battle, in which none of them had even so much as received a scratch. Today, Helaman is recounting the taking of the cities of Antiparah and those that surrendered at the city of Cumeni, who they later defend. So let's get started. So they had a problem. They had these prisoners of war, and they had let's see, they were going to deliver these prisoners up to the city of Antiparah unto us, and he sent an epistle to the king Ammonite, and the king refused it and didn't want to exchange prisoners. So they prepared to go against Antiparah. And the people of the city, not the Lamanites or the Nephites, just the citizens of that city, all had left the city. They decided it's not worth it. Their lives are more important, and they're gone. And so what happened is the city of Antiparah fell into the hands of Helaman and his people, and now ended the 28th year of the reign of Judges. So this puts it roughly about 63 BC. And now they had received new supplies, plus they received an additional 60 sons of the people of Ammon. It calls them the Ammonites here, the sons of the Ammonites. So they now have 2,060 soldiers from the people of Ammon, and that's great. And now they wanted to go against the city of Cumeni. Now they were strong. And so what they did is they surrounded the city, and anytime they tried getting the Lamanites inside of the city of Cumeni, they would take those supplies. They would attack the supply troops and take the supplies. And they started to starve. They started running out of supplies. They really didn't have much of a choice. So, and this happened probably many times. And also that the Lamanites, they kept on trying to surround the people of the Helaman's army, and it wasn't happening. They slept on their swords, and I'm sure they had sentries that kept watch, but they never could surround the armies of the Nephite, the Helaman's army. And so since they were cut off from their supplies, let's see here. Verse 12 says, "And it came to pass that not many days had passed away before the Lamanites began to lose all hope of succor. Therefore they yielded up the city into our hands." Not a single person was not bloodshed. Yeah. Oh, that didn't turn out good. All right, sorry about that. All right, so they were able to take the city of Ammonite or of Cumeni without the shedding of blood, which is great. Well, now they had a lot of prisoners, and so they were deciding what to do. They actually had a problem. They didn't know what to do with them, because there were so many of them. They had to use their entire army to guard them. So and that would have easily been able to attack the Nephites and get free. Therefore, they decided to send some of the guards with the prisoners to send them down to the land of Zarahemla. And so that's what they did. They took some and were journeying. And as they were journeying, where was it? Let's see, here it is. Verse 29. Now Gid was the chief captain over the band that was supposed to guard the prisoners down. And he relates, he says, as we were traveling down, there's someone came running and saying that there was an army that was going to attack Cumeni. Well, unfortunately, the person that gave this it wasn't very smart, because they yelled it. Now, when the Lamanites heard this, they had a high hope. And so here in verse 33, it says that they did take rebellion against them and start attacking them to try and break free of being sent as a prisoner. And unfortunately, they had to kill a lot of them, but then there were some that was able to escape. And at that point, Gig, who was the guy who was in charge of guarding the prisoners, decided it was more important for them to go and support Cumeni than it was to go after the escaping prisoners. And he's right, and this is the choice he made wasn't entirely his choice. The sons of the Lamanites made the choice for him, saying, you know what, we're just gonna take you. The Lamanites attacked them. They had every right to defend themselves. But instead of going after the remaining, they decided to go support their brethren back at Cumeni. And we read here that, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Going back and forth is... Well, anyways, so Gig and his little band came back and saved the Helaman and his warriors from being exterminated by the Lamanites. Now, unfortunately, it was without consequences. All of them had received wounds because of the battle, but still, not a single one of them had died. And in verse 26, verse 26, he ascribes the miracle of them surviving to God. And that is what we as Christians do, is when we overcome a trial, it is not by our own what's it called? Our own designs. It was because that was the design of God. We give thanks to him for our protection. We thank him for our guidance. And so that's the difference between the Nephites and the Lamanites, is we give all thanks to God for everything. If we are saved because of the arrival of a needed backup, that's great. So, all right. Let's see here. And then Helaman ends this with talking to Gig and how he was able to come back. And I love what he says here in verse 35. He says, "And behold, we are again delivered out of the hands of our enemies, and blessed is the name of our God. For behold, it is he that delivered us, yea, that has done this great thing for us." And 36 is the icing on the top. He says, "And it came to pass that when I, Helaman, had heard these words of Gid, I was filled with exceeding joy because of the goodness of God in preserving us, that we might not all perish. Yea, and I trust that the souls of them who have been slain have entered into the rest of their God." And that's chapter 57. We are just 6 chapters away from finishing Alma. So sometime next week, we'll be leaving Alma and we'll be starting Helaman. And it's just going to be a short time after that we will be starting with 3rd Nephi. This is going to be what the whole entire book has led up to. I thank you for joining me, brothers and sisters. I love you. I pray for you. And I hope that you have a wonderful week. And we will see you again tomorrow for another Scripture of the Day. Have a great day.